My reason for attending tonight's event is to, number one, get an opportunity to meet some of these young folks who have come out and written great poetry, and also have an opportunity to meet some of their parents, and then to hear some of the poetry, and to hear some of the things that these kids have encapsulated and reduced to words on paper, and to show support for those families. I found out about the event through Aaron Williams, the creator of 7GP. Actually, a year ago, I participated in last year's event, and then he asked me to participate in this year's event also. I think that this is a great event. Anything that we can do to help highlight quality education, to help encourage kids to do a little more, and to find a way to reward them and be able to say a job well done. I think it speaks volumes. I think that anytime we do that, we really give that child an opportunity to continue to grow. So I think that we need to continue to do those types of things as much as possible. The creativity that I see in some of these kids is absolutely extraordinary. Is some of the subject matters that you hear in some of these poems, and the way they talk about the circumstances that impact their lives. It says two things to me. Number one, you think about these are 7th graders, so you say, wow, I think about my 7th grader and think, wow, my 7th grader, there's more going on there than you may see or may believe, because when you hear other 7th graders write about some of these real life circumstances in such graphic fashion, you know that they're more tapped into what's happening in their environments, in their lives, than you may think just by passing. I think that this program has had tremendous influence on the kids, throughout the St. Louis City Public Schools and all the schools that this program is in. I really hope that they continue to grow the program, because when you have these kids all competing to be published in a book, and that book appear on the shelves of the library, they'll carry that with them as a badge of honor for the rest of their lives. I could see, one of these kids, they're 7th graders now, they grow up, they become grandparents, and they bring their grandkids in to say, when I was in 7th grade, look, I was published here in this book. So I think that it could be a life-changing experience for a lot of these kids. I have a deep interest in poetry, because poetry has a way in very short order, taking, like I said earlier, some real life experiences, boiling them down into just a few spoken words that can impact a person greatly. So I have some poetry hanging on my wall that my mother gave me back before I went off to college. I don't know why Aaron chose specifically 7th graders, but I can understand why he would have chosen 7th graders, having raised 3 myself and on my way to raising another one. When you're about that age, that's when there are a lot of things going on in your life. You're going through puberty and all these other things. And a lot of bullying could be happening in school. It gives that child an opportunity to express themselves through the written word. So I can see that if we can teach kids to express themselves in a different manner and to learn to achieve greatness through that, I think it's all good. And that's what this program does. I understand now that 7GP now has its 501c3 put together. So now it opens up opportunities for corporations to donate to the effort, and I really hope that we see more donations go into the effort so that we can expand it to hit even more kids. We have a great champion. We have a proven strategy that works. We have participation by 50+ schools now. 7th graders are just enthusiastic about being able to come here, read their poetry, and to see how mature some of these kids are. And the depth of their poetry is just amazing. So, the next step again would be to get more corporations involved in the funding piece of it. Here, poetry as an outlet for kids you know, if you take a look at some of the other things that kids would be doing if they weren't writing poetry, they would be playing video games. They may be out there tweeting, out in Facebook with their friends, you know, whatever, right? But if you're sitting and you're writing poetry and you're taking, you know, thoughts and feelings and you're putting them down on a piece of paper and you're learning the written word and being able to have, you know, sentence structures and being able to express yourself through writing, I think that is a lifelong skill that cannot really be compared to almost anything. So I think it's certainly a better way to be using your time.